Hello and welcome to the Mastermind semi-finals with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Tom Flowerdew, a data science director. His specialist subject is bears. Ruth Hart, a health policy officer, whose subject is the novels of Dame Muriel Spark. Tom Moody, a software developer. He'll be answering questions on the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup. And Karen Ellis, a former forensic scientist, whose subject is William Harvey and the discovery of circulation of the blood. So this is a big moment as we've reached the last of our semi-finals. One solitary place is up for grabs in the Mastermind Grand Final. And after 2 minutes on their specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, we'll know who will be having a crack at the big one. We wish them all well. So can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
Tom Flowerdew.
Your occupation?
Data science director.
And your specialist subject?
Bears.
The large predatory mammals of the family Ursidae. In 2 minutes. Let's go. What term traditionally used to refer to a group of bears is also a word for a detective?
Sleuth.
Yes, which species of bear, with subspecies including the Kodiak and the Kamchatka, has the scientific name Ursus arctos?
Brown bear.
Which comprises the Latin and Greek words for bear, respectively?
Brown bear.
Yes. What name is given to the behavior in which a pregnant female polar bear becomes dormant in winter, but which differs from hibernation in that the bear's body temperature does not decrease?
Torpor?
No, denning. Giant pandas with brown markings rather than the more familiar black and white fur belong to which subspecies named after a Chinese mountain range?
Chinling.
Yes. Although most bears have a total of 42 teeth, adult sloth bears typically have what number? An adaptation that helps them to suck up insects.
40.
Yes, the American black bear is found in all provinces and territories of Canada, with the exception of which province where it was eradicated in the early 20th century?
St. Lawrence Island?
No, Prince Edward Island. The constellation Ursa Major is traditionally said to have been created when which nymph from Greek mythology was turned into a bear and cast into the heavens?
Callisto.
Yes, the species Ursivus elmensis, which existed around 20 million years ago, is known by what common name, which reflects the fact that it's widely considered the first true bear to appear in the fossil record?
Dawn bear.
Yes, which subspecies of the Asiatic black bear, whose habitats include the forests of Mount Everest, is noted for its unusually thick fur?
Himalayan bear?
Yes. Which town in the Canadian province of Manitoba is widely known as the polar bear capital of the world, as hundreds of polar bears congregate there each year to await the formation of Arctic ice?
Churchill.
Yes, giant pandas have an unusual 6th digit on each forepaw, which acts as an opposable thumb and is formed by an enlargement of a bone in the wrist called the radial what?
Sesamoid.
Yes, what common name that refers to their presumed habitat is given to the extinct bear species Ursus spelaeus, whose remains have been found at sites in southwest England?
Cave bear.
It is the cave bear. Tom, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 10 points.
Yeah.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Ruth Hart.
Your occupation?
Health policy officer.
And your specialist subject?
The novels of Dame Muriel Spark.
The author, born in Edinburgh in 1918, who was nominated for the Booker Prize on 3 separate occasions. In 2 minutes, let's go. Dame Muriel Spark's debut novel, The Comforters, opens with Louisa Jepp complaining to the baker that her grandson will not eat what food?
White bread.
Yes. Hubert Malindane, one of the central characters in The Takeover, claims to be a direct descendant of the goddess Diana, and which Roman emperor?
Caligula.
Yes, which of Spark's novels opens with the line, long ago in 1945, all the nice people in England were poor, allowing for exceptions?
The Girls of Slender Means.
Yes, Robinson, the title character of Spark's 1958 novel, has what the book's narrator, January Marlowe, describes as an addiction to which classical composer?
Rossini?
Yes, in the prime of Miss Jean Brodie. What's the title of the love story written by Sandy Stranger and Jenny Gray about their teacher, Miss Brodie, and Hugh Carruthers, her lover, who was killed during the First World War?
The Mountain Eerie.
Yes, what fictional brand of cat food, bought cheaply and in bulk, do the nuns eat on toast in the Abbess of Crewe?
Kitty Nibble.
No, Mew, according to Dougal Douglas in The Ballad of Peckham Rye. The 4 types of morality observable in Peckham are emotional, puritanical, Christian, and what other, of which he says the principal factor is class solidarity.
Psychological?
No, functional. In The Public Image, when the actress Annabelle Christopher is asked by a journalist what success means, she replies, it means that your friends don't bring you back what items from their holidays anymore?
Scarves?
Yes, silk scarves in Memento Mori. The 12 residents of a hospital geriatric ward include Miss Jessie Barnacle, who spent 48 years as a news vendor at what location in London?
Holborn Circus?
Yes, which of the nuns from the convent of Mary of Good Hope in the novel Symposium is known as the 4-letter nun because of her propensity to swear?
Sister Marrow?
Yes, in Loitering with Intent, what name is shared by the shade of lipstick used by the housekeeper Beryl Timms and the fragrance worn by the narrator's lover's wife, Dottie?
English Rose?
Yes, in Aiding and Abetting, the psychiatrist Hildegard Wulff treats 2 patients, both of whom claim to be Lord Lucan. One of them calls himself Lucky Lucan. What name does the other use?
Walker?
It is Walker. And Ruth, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 10 points.
Thank you.
Our next contender, please. Your name,
Tom Moody,
your occupation,
software developer,
and your specialist subject.
the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup.
The limited overs international cricket tournament that began in 1975 when the West Indies became the first winning team. In 2 minutes, let's go. The Cricket World Cup was launched in 1975 with a tournament that originally featured one-day matches consisting of how many overs per side?
60.
Yes, in the 1979 tournament, which England player, normally known as a batter, took more wickets than he scored runs in a match against Australia, bowling his overs wearing a cap?
Jeffrey Boycott.
Yes, the final of the 1987 tournament, the first to be held outside the UK, was staged at which stadium in Kolkata, India?
Eden Gardens.
Yes, a record for the highest opening partnership in the tournament was set in 2011 when Tilakaratne Dilshan and which other batter scored 282 for Sri Lanka against Zimbabwe?
Upal Tharanga.
Yes, in a 2003 semi-final against Sri Lanka, which Australian batter sportingly gave himself out, caught behind despite the umpire turning down an opposition appeal.
Adam Gilchrist.
Yes, the World Cup was initially played using a traditional red ball with players in white outfits, but a change to the white balls and colourful kits was first made for the tournament staged in which year?
1992.
Yes, which Netherlands cricketer became the first bowler to concede 6 sixes in an over of international cricket when he faced Herschel Gibbs of South Africa in the 2007 tournament?
Darren Reekers.
No, Daan van Bunga. In 1999, in a match against India, what items were confiscated from 2 fielding South Africa players because they were deemed to have delivered an unfair advantage?
Pass.
In the 2019 final, 2 super overs were bowled to try to separate the tied teams, with Jofra Archer bowling 1 for England and which player doing the same for New Zealand?
Trent Boult.
Yes, which Indian bowler took the first hat-trick in World Cup cricket when he claimed the wickets of the New Zealand batters Ken Rutherford, Ian Smith and Ewan Chatfield in 1987?
Chetan Sharma.
Yes, which team, comprising cricketers from a number of different countries, took part in the first World Cup but were eliminated at the group stage after 3 defeats?
East Africa.
Yes, in the 1975 World Cup, the New Zealand squad included 2 sets of siblings, the 3 Hadleys and 2 other brothers with what surname?
Howarth.
It was Howarth. Tom, you've got just the 1 pass in 1999. In a match against India, what items were confiscated from 2 fielding South Africa players? Earpieces. At the end of that round, Tom, you've got 10 points. And our final contender, please. Your name,
Karen Ellis,
your occupation,
former forensic scientist.
and your specialist subject.
William Harvey and the discovery of the circulation of blood.
The English physician who was the first person to describe fully how blood is pumped around the body by the heart. In 2 minutes, let's go. William Harvey was born in 1578 in which town in Kent, where his father later served as mayor?
Folkestone.
Yes, in 1593, Harvey enrolled at Gonville and Caius College at Cambridge University, where he was awarded a scholarship named after which former Archbishop of Canterbury?
Matthew Parker.
Yes, Harvey's wife, Elizabeth, was the daughter of which prominent physician who became a strong advocate for Harvey and attempted to secure a position for him at the royal court?
Lancelot Brown.
Yes, in 1609, Harvey was appointed to a medical post at which London hospital, where he would serve for more than 30 years?
St Bartholomew's.
Yes, in 1615, Harvey was appointed by the College of Physicians to deliver which prestigious series of anatomy lectures, which was to be accompanied by a full dissection of a human corpse?
Lumleian lectures.
Yes, in his book De Re Anatomica, which 16th century Italian anatomist gave a description of the movement of blood between the heart and lungs, which Harvey later verified by pumping water through the organs of a corpse.
Fabricius.
No, Rialdo Colombo. In 1628, Harvey published his groundbreaking theory of blood circulation in a treatise usually known by what three-word Latin title?
De Motu Cordis.
Yes, Harvey served as personal physician to King Charles I and was present at which 1642 battle in the English Civil War, where he looked after the king's sons?
Edgehill.
Yes, on the day of his death in 1657, Harvey presented one of his nephews with what item which he'd used in many of his experiments?
A probe.
No, it's a watch. Harvey dedicated De Motu Cordis to King Charles I and to which other man, the president of the College of Physicians, whom Harvey called his particular friend?
Pass.
Which French philosopher, who described his own theories on the heart in his Discourse on Method, was an early advocate of Harvey's circulation theory?
René Descartes.
Yes, Harvey's poor handwriting is suggested as the cause of the abundance of errors in the first edition of De Motu Cordis, published by William Fitzer in which European city?
Frankfurt.
It was Frankfurt. Karen, you had just the one pass. Harvey dedicated De Motu Cordis to King Charles I and John Argent.
Yeah.
And at the end of that round, Karen, you've got 9 points.
Thank you.
At the end of the specialist subjects round in this semi-final, let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 9 points, it's Karen. And in joint first place with 10 points each, Tom Flowerdew, Ruth and Tom Moody. So now it's general knowledge. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Karen to join us again, please. Karen, you start with 9 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What very popular English hard cheese is named after the village in Somerset where it was first made, which is also noted for its nearby gorge and caves?
Cheddar.
Yes, the Greater Antilles and the Lesser Antilles are island groups in which sea?
Atlantic.
No, the Caribbean. In English billiards, what name is given to a scoring shot in which the cue ball hits both other balls?
Pass.
In the 2017 film, I, Tonya, what's the surname of the title character, a real-life figure skater portrayed by Margot Robbie?
Tonya Harding.
Yes. What word for a bluish or greyish shade of green is the name given to a species of gull with pale-coloured plumage that's a winter visitor to the coasts of the British Isles?
Pass.
The Webster family, whose members include Kevin, Rosie and Jack, made their first appearance in 1983 in which long-running British television soap?
Coronation Street.
Yes, when expressed as a fraction, the figure 0.625 is equal to how many eighths?
5.
Yes, who became King of England in 1216 following the death of his father, King John?
Stephen.
No, Henry III, the 2020 book Home Stretch and Forever Home, published in 2022, and novels by which Irish broadcaster and chat show host?
Graham Norton.
Yes, which acclaimed street artist's first solo exhibition since 2009, entitled Cut and Run, 25 Years Card Labour, was held in the summer of 2023 at Glasgow's Gallery of Modern Art.
Banksy.
Yes, what silvery, white metallic element with the atomic number 20 is important in diet for maintaining bone health and is present in dairy products and certain leafy vegetables?
Calcium.
Yes, the rock drummer John Bonham was a member of which British band from 1968 until his death in 1980?
Pass.
In the name of the major New York rail hub in Midtown Manhattan, often referred to as Penn Station, Penn is short for what word?
Pennsylvania.
Yes, which Austrian physicist shared the 1933 Nobel Prize in Physics after he developed a wave equation based on the assumption that matter has a dual nature and can be regarded as both particles and waves?
Einstein.
No, Schrödinger. What's the name of the Doric column in the City of London, designed by Christopher Wren and Robert Hooke and built in the 1670s to commemorate the Great Fire of 1666?
Monument.
Yes, in the famous 5 series of children's books by Enid Blyton. What's the name of the dog belonging to George?
Timmy.
Yes, what's the 4-letter common name for the soil deposits consisting of the smallest particles used in the production of pottery and other earthenware?
Clay.
It is clay. Carrion had 3 passes. John Bonham played in Led Zeppelin. The word for a bluish or grey shade of green, the name given to a species of gull, it's glaucus. And in English billiards, the name given to a scoring shot in which the cue ball hits both other balls is a cannon. And at the end of that round, Karen, you've got 20 points.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Tom Flowerdew. Tom, you start with 10 points. The score to beat, as it stands, is 20 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What title for a person who has been canonized by the Christian Church is often abbreviated to the letters ST?
Saint.
Yes. What kitchen utensil used to sharpen knives consists of a long, thin rod with a rough surface and gets its name from the alloy traditionally used to make it?
Whetstone.
No, steel. In the 2000 film Dancer in the Dark, which Icelandic singer and actress stars as Selma, a poorly paid factory worker with a degenerative eye condition?
Björk.
Yes, the edible flatfish Limanda limanda, widely distributed around the coast of the British Isles, especially in the North Sea, has what 3-letter common name?
Roe.
No, Dab. The 2022 novel All the Broken Places by John Boyne is a sequel to what best-selling 2006 book by the same author?
All the Things We Cannot See.
No, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. What's the Persian equivalent of the title king, which was used for the ruler of Iran before the country's revolution in the late 1970s?
Shah.
Yes, the flag of the island of Jersey consists of a white background with a coat of arms above a diagonal cross of which primary colour?
Red.
Yes, which actor and broadcaster known for his roles in the television series Homeland and Supergirl was made an OBE in the 2023 New Year's Honours List?
Pass.
In which 1904 opera by Puccini does the Japanese heroine marry an American naval lieutenant?
Madame Butterfly.
Yes, which politician served as the first female Prime Minister of New Zealand for 2 years from 1997?
Pass.
Which town in Buckinghamshire was given city status in 2022 as part of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebrations?
Pass.
What stage musical is based on a 1926 play by Maureen Watkins, a crime reporter who was inspired by the real-life trials of 2 women who were acquitted of murder?
Chicago.
Yes, what term derived from a Greek word for a eulogy or funeral oration is used to refer to a commemorative inscription on a tomb or gravestone?
Epitaph.
Yes, in July 2023, stage 1 of the Tour de France, known as Le Grand Départ, began in which city in northern Spain?
Barcelona.
No, Bilbao. Nicole Kidman and Robbie Williams had a UK #1 single in 2001 with a cover version of what song previously a hit for Frank and Nancy Sinatra?
Something Stupid.
Yes, in 1958, the British artist Gerald Holtham designed the peace symbol logo that's used by which organisation?
Greenpeace.
No, CND. What word for the edible inner part of a seed or nut is also used in computing to refer to a fundamental part? I'll start it all finished, to refer to the fundamental part of an operating system that controls its basic functions.
Kernel.
It is kernel. Tommy had 3 passes. The town in Buckinghamshire, given city status in 2022, Milton Keynes. The politician who served as the first female Prime Minister of New Zealand for 2 years, Dame Jenny Shipley. And David Harewood is the actor and broadcaster known for his roles in Homeland and Supergirl. So that means at the end of that round, Tom, you've got a total of 19 points. Next up, it's Ruth. Ruth, you start with 10 points. The score to beat as it stands is 20 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The puppet character Kermit, who worked as a news reporter on Sesame Street before joining The Muppet Show, is what type of amphibian?
A frog.
Yes, in a list of names, for example, a team list, a person who has yet to be identified is represented by the letters AN, followed by what word?
Anonymous.
No, other. At the 2022 FIFA World Cup, which French footballer won the Golden Boot with a tally of 8 goals?
A pass.
What number comes next in the sequence of prime numbers that begins 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13?
17.
Yes, the title of what 1958 comic novel by H.E. Bates is a quotation from the poem known as Sonnet 18 by Shakespeare?
Pass.
Which internal organs of an animal are known in the butchery trade as lights?
Lungs.
Yes, which American actress born Lucille LeSueur in the early 1900s won an Oscar for her performance as the title character in the 1945 film Mildred Pierce?
John Crawford.
Yes, the famous medieval map known as Mappa Mundi has which Middle Eastern city at its centre?
Jerusalem.
Yes, what name derived from a Latin verb meaning to pound is given to the sliding component in the cylinder of a 4-stroke engine that converts pressure into mechanical power?
Piston.
Yes, the red, the western grey, and the eastern grey are 3 species of what large marsupial?
Squirrel.
No, kangaroo. Which American new wave band formed in the 1970s had their first UK #1 single for 18 years when the song Maria topped the chart in 1999?
Blondie.
Yes, which river that rises in the Tibetan Plateau and empties into the East China Sea near Shanghai is the longest in Asia?
The Yangtze.
Yes, the 2002 Broadway production of a stage musical which won 6 Tony Awards and the 1967 film starring Julie Andrews on which it was based are both entitled Thoroughly Modern Who?
Millie.
Yes, which coastal town in Dorset has a harbour wall known as the Cobb, which was the setting for a key scene in Jane Austen's 1817 novel Persuasion?
Taunton.
No, Lyme Regis. Which Austrian motor racing driver and Formula One world champion founded a commercial airline in 1979 that operated under his name for more than 30 years?
Sebastian Vettel.
No, Niki Lauda. The word Terpsichorean, derived from the name of one of the muses of Greek mythology, means relating to what activity?
Music.
No, dancing. What 2-word term suggesting... I've started so I'll finish. What 2-word term suggesting a lack of movement is used to refer to a painting or drawing of an arrangement of inanimate objects, typically fruit or flowers?
Still life.
It is still life. Ruth, you had 2 passes. The title of what 1958 comic novel by H.E. Bates is a quotation from the poem known as Sonnet 18, The Darling Buds of May. Kylian Mbappe is the French footballer who won the Golden Boot. He scored the most goals in the 2022 World Cup. So, at the end of that round, Ruth, you've got 20 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Tom Moody, please. Tom, you start with 10 points. The score to beat to get through to the Mastermind Grand Final is Ruth and Karen's 20 points. And you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What Inuit word is used in English as the name for a hooded, waterproof coat, as well as being an informal, mildly derogatory term for a socially inept person with a boring hobby?
Parker.
No, Anorak. Which avian cartoon character voiced for 50 years by Clarence Nash made his film debut in a supporting role in the 1934 animated short The Wise Little Hen?
Pass.
The acronym FOMO, used in social media and spelt F-O-M-O, stands for fear of what?
Missing out.
Yes, which American singer had a UK hit single in 2023 with What Was I Made For from the soundtrack to the film Barbie?
Billie Eilish.
Yes, which motorway has service stations called Michaelwood, Gloucester and Sedgemoor?
M5.
Yes, Sir Bernard Ingham, who died in 2023 at the age of 90, served for many years as Chief Press Secretary to which UK Prime Minister?
Heath.
No, Margaret Thatcher. Which chess piece performs an L-shaped move either up or down 1 square vertically and across 2 squares horizontally, or
Knight.
up or down 2 squares vertically and across 1 square horizontally?
Knight.
Yes. Which actor and member of the so-called Rat Pack was born in London and married a sister of President John F. Kennedy?
Pass.
The stretch of the River Thames flowing through which English city is sometimes known as the Isis?
Oxford.
Yes. In 2023, which American author won both the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction and the Women's Prize for Fiction for her novel, Demon Copperhead?
Pass.
According to a well-known proverb, the month of March comes in like a lion and goes out like a what?
Lamb.
Yes. What's the title of the television drama series first shown in 2023 about the probationary period of Grace, Annie and Tommy, 3 new recruits to the police service of Northern Ireland?
Pass.
Which planet has an equatorial radius of just over 2,100 miles, making it the second smallest in our solar system?
Mercury.
No, Mars. The sportsman and video game entrepreneur Tony Hawk, who was world champion for 12 years in a row, was inducted into which sports hall of fame in 2009?
Skateboarding.
Yes. What bovine-sounding name for a yellow wildflower related to the primrose is used in the United States as an alternative name for the marsh marigold?
Bull.
No, Cowslip, which play by Oscar Wilde features the line, "To lose one parent, Mr. Worthing, may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like carelessness."
The importance of being earnest.
Yes, in Greek mythology, Telemachus was the son of Penelope and which adventurer?
Odysseus.
It is Odysseus. Tom, you had 4 passes. Blue Lights is the title of the television drama series about the probationary period of Grace, Annie and Tommy. Barbara Kingsolver is the American author who won both the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction and Women's Prize for Fiction for Demon Copperhead. The actor and member of the so-called Rat Pack who married the sister of President Kennedy, that's Peter Lawford. And the avian cartoon character voiced for 50 years by Clarence Nash, Donald Duck. At the end of that round, Tom, you've got 19 points.
Thank you.
My word, it was like a horse race, neck and neck, right into the final stretch. Let's have a look at the final scores. In joint third place with 19 points each, Tom Flowerdew and Tom Moody. In second place with 20 points and 4 passes, it's Karen, which means in first place with 20 points and 2 passes, it's Ruth. She goes through to the grand final. Congratulations to her. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for the Mastermind Grand Final. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
I'm feeling delighted. Again, I can't believe I'm standing here. I can't believe that I'm going through to the final. It feels amazing. Yeah, it feels fantastic. And it was a really, really close match. So I'm extra pleased to have made it.
In first place with 20 points and 2 passes, it's Ruth.
The necklace I'm wearing does have a special meaning for me. My dad gave it to me. He passed away earlier this year, and he's the reason I applied to be on Mastermind. I wore it in the first round, and I thought I'd wear it for the semi-final as a lucky charm. And I'll definitely wear it in the final and be thinking of him.